the biggest thing about playing in these long series is sometimes you just forget that heroes exist, like Broodmother, and it just like sneaks in and you're just like, damn.
Happen.
Yeah. You just gotta shake it off.
Why are they thinking so hard about this? And they did this game one,
Because
right?
they want to make sure they haven't forgotten any heroes.
Dota2wiki.com, you know, open it up.
I think they're mainly just considering what happens. Go for. Oh, okay. So this is.
Oh, there it is.
What my suggestion would have been, but I didn't think any of them. They had the option to pick Invoker last game as well, but they didn't. But this time around, of course, somebody on their team plays Invoker. Somebody has to play Invoker on their team. It's just part of the meta right now.
But who is it? Support Invoker incoming?
No, it's definitely probably Yoku or FN. Either one of them should be able to do it. I know FN plays mid and
Pubs.
yeah, so it's fine.
That feels familiar actually. I've probably been destroyed by his Invoker at some point.
Yeah.
And they're gonna pair it with a Faceless Void. Not necessarily to take away from Invoker Faceless Void. Strong combination, but you are opening up pretty hard in cores.
It's okay though. You can still draft a flexible one position. Now this is EG's chance. Like, what do you take here? You have an OD as an option. For your own 2-position mid, it did quite well against Sumail, almost for flooding him, in fact. If he had gotten a little bit lucky with the procs, maybe he would have been able to do it with one more hit. But Evil Geniuses, they can also take the DP. Not bad against the Invoker one-on-one. They are Radiant side too.
Gonna have to craft your lineup around DP though.
That's fine though, especially since you already know what you're mid against and what the offlaner is. You're not gonna get roamed on pretty hard by the offlaner early on.
True.
And there's still plenty of good synergy heroes, even if you go into that 3-4 banning phase. Still gonna have potentially Tidehunter, Beastmaster, Gyrocopter.
Yeah, maybe they run their own. Maybe they run their own Beastmaster this game.
Yeah.
Beastmaster or Enchantress?
What about that 4th position, Beastmaster?
Or the Fear Iron Talon Jungle one?
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose with that?
Yeah. Do we think that's still a thing after Shanghai Major? Or did EG...
Who else tried it? Someone tried it like a series after.
Oh, they take Phoenix again. I like this. I just think Phoenix is a really solid 4 position right now because the egg is so strong. Sunray, like Jacob talked about, there's a reason why. This hero, eHome, really got to see how strong it was as a 4 position and how much it can do. Because you have the egg, which is game-changing, but it's not even the best part about your hero. The best part about your hero is how good Sunray is as both an offensive and defensive tool.
And both of them come together inside the Chronosphere as well, onto the Void and onto the target he's looking for.
Yeah. EG, maybe they ban out the Juggernaut again. This time they're going to ban out the Clinks. They felt like it was a good idea against both the Lion and the Phoenix. Unfortunately, again, you know, whole Broodmother situation.
Are you scared of like safe lane OD, or is that just too much late game?
Might be scared of roaming Enchantress.
I think Jug is... Because the Jug spin hits through the Phoenix egg too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Jug is...
Spin takes out Fire Spirits.
10 seconds remaining.
Annoying hero all around.
5 seconds remaining.
Clearly worried about the 1 position right now. The Clinks would have worked really well against this. Because it does do well against the Lion and the Phoenix. Time left over, but they're getting close.
What do we start looking for after that? Sumail, he's had some good Invoker performances today. It doesn't get it.
Oh, the Ursa. Yeah, that Phoenix Egg doesn't last real long around that.
Yeah.
Though, you like Ursa, Faceless Void together? I feel like that's a little bit of anti-synergy.
Yeah, I never really liked those 2 heroes together in general.
5 seconds remaining.
You can always use Chrono as like the zoning tool and allow the Ursa to run himself around the back end.
Reserve time.
A little bit awkward sometimes.
Team Empire, you still need to
Ban the
ban...
Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think Beastmaster's a pretty good ban. Oh, they take out the Sven. I guess because of their previous experiences of what they saw at EG at the Major, but...
And any sort of carry that offers its own disable is going to be, it makes the Phoenix a little bit more potent, right? That's that support position. Allows you to be able to get some good sunray time in.
Empire.
Seconds remaining.
Void invoke. I mean, they've got like Sunstrike meter into that
5
chronosphere,
seconds remaining.
but laning stage isn't that strong. You know, Void kind of holds his own, gets himself levels so far. Invoker doesn't know what his 1v1 matchup is just yet. But there's nothing like, you know, there's no Bounty Hunter, no Earth Spirit, of course, because they're banned out. Nothing to control tempo of lanes and give Team Empire that advantage that maybe they're looking for in the initial stages. Whatever happened to like roaming Mirana? Because we saw that was like a flash in the pan thing as well.
Yeah, I think that it kind of went from South America to complexity to showing up at the Shanghai Major, but I don't think that there are too many European teams that are really comfortable with it. And I don't think Evil Geniuses is also one of those teams. So, like the OD Mirana, I think is the only time you're really going to see that support Mirana.
Astral Arrow. Well,
That's not
Disruptor
the case here.
gives them displacement up against the Phoenix. Pretty good up against that dive.
It's good against Phoenix in general, just because you can stop the egg no matter what. And when you're playing aggressively anyways, it queues up pretty well with the Faceless Void too. But Evil Geniuses, it does limit a little bit what you can play as a core in the mid as well. Just because you can no longer play heroes like Queen of Pain, for example, gets destroyed by the hero. They have options now, though.
Bring back the
10
SF.
seconds remaining.
Miracle tried it.
I'm still liking DP here for Evil
5
Geniuses.
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
With the Phoenix
Because-
and Lion.
Then it splits the fight, you have to focus on one or the other.
Yeah. You're
Damn
going up
right.
like any kind of like good team fight, aggressive kind of style hero goes up against a disruptor. I think it's pretty favorable, right?
Especially when
Like,
you
what's he
pair
gonna do? Glimpse you back? Whatever.
That's the thing, like you pair it with Phoenix as well, and you're looking at two ideal targets for Static Storm or a Glimpse, and you're like, well, I've got to choose one of them, I'm not going to get both. So just pick your poison at that point. But
And
also,
and also you're
Empire,
talking about two ultimates, like both Faceless Void and Disruptor. Like, if you already have the Ghosts out, very ineffective team fight ults
the
against
control
Death
does
Prophet.
basically nothing.
Yeah.
And also you look at Empire, what nuke damage do they have? It's at this point it's Invoker once he gets his levels, you know, double forge, but it's a Sunstrike meter into the Chrono that they're looking for onto Death Prophet. They've got no good burst damage, but there's the Enchantress I was kind of looking for.
Kind of interesting because they have really good heroes versus Enchantress at this point in time.
The Lion in his own just...
Yeah, I mean, the laning phase is going to go better for Team Empire at this point in time because they have this early creep that they're going to be coming into that'll buy space most likely for Faceless Void or Invoker to be able to win their lane a bit better. But Phoenix, Death Prophet, both those heroes actually excel at being able to deal with Enchantress, and as you mentioned, Lion's heavy nukes are another plus.
Oh hey look, it's another target to try and throw your ultis down onto.
I like this lineup in general by EG. I think their 5-man is incredibly strong, and once they hit their basic item timings, it's going to be really hard to stop the high ground attempt by them.
5 seconds.
Plus, they have a lot of different ways. They have a summon to push out the lanes. They've got something to contend with the Invoker later on, where you can actually get some roots on him and send him back with a roar to try to disrupt his combo and his timings. Plus, he's super tanky, and he doesn't really care about Disruptor.
To ban.
Did you mention the Phoenix heal?
Yeah, that works out really well, too.
Yeah, super effective on these high HP heroes.
They're kind of,
Beastmaster ban.
they're kind of lacking saves though, so if Evil Geniuses pre-5-man group and push, they do get split and caught off. There's nothing really, reactive they can do potentially to try and save people out. But then the last hero likely to be Universes, right?
Yeah, Tidehunter.
Yeah,
I don't
Tide
think
gives
Tide's
them...
very good.
Huh?
I don't like Tide at all against Disruptor. I feel like Disruptor is
Oh, that's true.
like the hardest possible counter, because it's the only hero that you can't crack him through.
I like it as a counter initiator against Faceless Void, and I think it has good synergy with Phoenix and Death Prophet, but I think you're right, Death Prophet is definitely a sticking point there.
Plus, I think you're way too ulti reliant. You might be right, but from every single time I see like a Tidehunter against a Disruptor,
5 seconds.
Disruptor goes in, gets static stormed, and then gets blown up.
So Bat Rider then.
Reserve
That
time.
sounds pretty good. You need something
5 seconds
to.
remaining.
Oh wait, they need a safe lane for Empire
Evil
Slark.
geniuses turn to
That's
pain.
not great against Slark though. Is the only issue.
What is
So you
the
want to see the
next
Lone
one?
Druid off lane and run an aggressive carry at this point?
I'm not entirely sure. It'd be weird to see Spectre again. That lineup feels really, really greedy for me.
Gyrocopter is still in the pool.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be an Arteezy Lone Druid, and they just
5
need
seconds
a
remaining.
Universe Hero anyways.
But that's what we were talking about, and then you said no.
Oh, no, they're going to swap it around, I guess.
All right.
Empire got
fine.
faked out.
We're good.
We're good.
All right.
Oh no, we're not.
Lycan.
Not bad.
Not
They can
bad.
push really hard.
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, yeah. Lycan and Lone Druid on the same team.
Like 15 minutes in, flick the switch. EG
Prediction.
take down towers.
I think EG wins.
Prediction.
EG.
All right. Let's see what our casters have to say. Game number 3 of Evil Geniuses versus Team Empire is here. It's going to come out on top. I don't know. Toby and Mel, take it away.
Well, we definitely know. Team Empire versus EG. I am sitting next to the man
10
that
seconds
knew
remaining.
before even the panel knew that that was an off-lane lone druid. And we would be having ourselves a safe laner core picked up.
I gotta say, Cap was applauding the audience. I want to applaud Cap, Durga, Blitz. They've been here since 9 in the morning. We're going on our 19th hour of broadcast.
It's
been
something
a-
like that.
It's been a good long day.
Hey, we also had like one of the greatest first casts we could have. We started the day, we're going to end the day. We've been here for you the whole time, and we had like the greatest filler game. 2 games that took us 4.5 hours to get through. That was
You
our
know, when
first
you have the
series.
best Dota teams in the world, what does it really matter?
It really doesn't, like, because you've got so much that you can talk about. There's so much depth that comes out
Like
from
the
all of these
capital of
teams.
Australia.
Yeah, which obviously, just to put it to absolute rest, it was in our hearts, it's Melbourne. In reality, it's the piece of crap town called Canberra.
Did Toby just take the time to congratulate himself?
I did not congratulate myself. I congratulated Jacob congratulated everyone else. And thank you, Cap.
30 seconds to battle.
Who gave him control of his own microphone?
Voice of God.
I am not calling Cap God. Maybe Prince.
So the lineups, EG clearly feeling like the day should end out rather sooner than later with their push strategy. Death Prophet, Lone Druid, Lycanthrope, all 3 heroes instrumental to push strats. I'm a bit thrown off with the Enchantress pick, simply because it didn't really make a lot of sense against the heroes that EG had already picked up. It's a jungle hero that can put on, you know, a decent amount of pressure. But with the heroes you had already picked up, and if you were planning on picking up a Slark, wouldn't it be better to just go with a Chen?
You know what, normally I'd agree, but after also what we saw Artstyle do in combination with the Faceless Void earlier today, I can see a reason why you would push towards the Enchantress. It's a hell of a lot of burst damage and works. Did he just? Okay, it works nicely against. He is actually gonna do that. Yeah, it works really nicely up against heroes like Lycan who just want to run themselves away. It's actually, yeah, it's a snipe, and the smoke is now broken, and now he's dragged up the entire creep wave. The funny thing is, look at the vision game coming out from EG. I'm not certain if this is on purpose, Jacob, but there's 2 observer wards, which are planted by different people, hence they have different, like, custom skins. But they're smack bang right next to each other watching this top river.
It is my professional opinion that this is a mistake.
I would concur with your professional opinion.
So I've never seen this Death Prophet skin on Sumail in the middle lane.
It's disgusting. It's Ursula.
Looks like
Really?
an alien concubine.
I don't watch those type of things. I think of something nice like the Little Mermaid, and you're just like alien concubines. Great. You're a credit to our game.
It's the hat. It's the hat.
Oh, that's a. Yes, the hat I can definitely say. The squid-like tentacles. That's what I think
And
you're
those.
referring to. Alright, so laning-wise, Enchantress obviously fell on the snipe. Inslee is now backing up, picks up a new smoke, and we'll be able to grab a second creep in just a moment. Currently only with a Hellbear. By the time she gets to the lane for a gank, that Hellbear is going to time out. And she only finds herself a Wild Wing. It's not the greatest combination at all, so more than likely we'll just stick inside the jungle and just keep the farm going.
It's actually such a scary lineup from EG because all three heroes, all their cores can get farm on the lane, and they can push down towers very, very fast. And the only real counter response that Empire has in the early game will be a well-landed Chronosphere, and even then it's difficult up against a tanky lone druid, presumably a tanky both Lycan and Death Prophet. So
there's no guaranteed kill when they do that.
Exactly. So a lot of it comes down to how well these Chronos land, and later on, of course, Disruptor as well.
Hello, top lane. Aloha's making the run. The Savage Roar just trying to force the Slark back, but Aloha, he's going to have that glimpse back into the wall. Universe will be trapped in. Remember, they're still battling up against both Master and Bear, but the damage into Universe should be more than enough to find the kill. Aloha, however, very, very low, runs himself away from that one little range creep that was attacking him down. But he'll still survive. And that's first blood in favor of Team Empire. But so much CS has still gone the way of EG, I'm wondering if it's a little bit more of a shallow victory for them.
Yeah, EG hasn't really done much to... They don't seem to like to actually keep the offlaner away from experience. They don't put a lot of effort into this. We saw in game 1 where the Beastmaster basically had free reign and got that 17-minute Necro 3. They do have a Lion to sort of respond to the Faceless Void, but they've chosen to rotate
should be dead.
it.
There's your Crypt Swarm as well as the Soul Siphon. No real way to run away from this, so EG with a very simple kill onto that Invoker, and that's already a triple Invoker.
Right? It's definitely worth it because of how much emphasis they put on keeping down the middle lane. They've succeeded in all 3 games.
They're going to go again here on Universe. They want him to walk away, so then they can glimpse wall him back. And there is the Centaur, the Savage Roar, going to buy a little bit of space for Universe, but now the Stomp is there, and Universe will die for a second time. He still had no bear resummon for another minute. Now, this laning phase is not really turned out that great for Empire, even with the 2 kills in the top lane. PPD starts his rotation back into mid.
It's actually going to be a straight Midas on FN. If he can get away with it, I think. That's what he's contemplating right now. Do I go for the power treads or do I go for the straight Midas?
I'm not actually against the Midas in this. But you've definitely got to have a plan if your team Empire to hit like the perfect time.
There's no regen on him, however, so this might actually be a bit too greedy.
Well,
this will allow Universe to stand in the lane for quite some time. He doesn't have his bear yet though, but he is level 5 now.
Yeah, he's going to hit level 6 as this creep wave comes onto the tower, so he's going to get his health regeneration at least.
PPD running over a ward, so Yoki will know that he was just in the middle lane.
Alright, still gonna, okay, well they jump forward. As Sumail starts the initiation, Fear comes in as well with that Sunrise, a little bit too short of the Enchantress, tries to Icarus dive himself a little bit deeper. They just blew the Exorcism. The question is, can Yoku defend this? He's got EMP available, so maybe he can buy a little bit of space with that. With the Hadouken creep as well. A lot of heavy damage to be done to the creep wave, but the tier 1 tower is also copping a lot. They could pop the fortification. It looks like Sumail is going to get exactly what he came here for. A lot of damage to that mid tower. It's not within deny range, so they can come for a second push a little bit later on, but Loa Dance moves forward. He might consider glimpsing back on the Death Prophet, but he'll do it onto PPD instead. That's a lot easier kill, but the Sunray is arriving from Fear once again. They need more damage. The Tornado is off target. And now you start with that Soul Siphon into the Enchantress. The jump forward coming in from Fear. Now remember, he doesn't go for the Spirit build. He's put everything he's got into that Sunray, so he can't really help out with the slowing of attacks. So Sumail, cold snap dump. More attacks coming in from Empire, but PPD back to the front lines. A double stun with the Sunray. Fear is burning Team Empire apart. Tries to turn the Sun attention towards the Disruptor. A little bit too far away. He still gets the kill over from the Enchantress with a Crypt Swarm. Aloha! A quick use of his Fairy Fire will allow him to survive. And the Death Prophet, very low on life, but Sumail will walk back home.
Yoki both had Tornado and Cold Snap up. He could have killed Sumail by all means.
Where's the Sunstrike? Oh, it's a level 1. He won't get Jack.
Well then, both sides get away. I actually thought Peter misclicked there for a second, PPD on the Lion, because he just ran in awkwardly, and then he lands this perfect stun setup for the Sunray. So great play by EG. A bit unfortunate that they didn't get any of those kills. Or did they? They did get the Enchantress, didn't they?
Yeah, Phoenix killed off the Enchantress. But still a lot of time you dedicated yourself to ganking up that mid. You don't take out the Invoker like you really planned to.
Well, they got the response from them as well, so it was time evenly wasted. Both supports from either side were there.
That's true.
Oh.
Are they going again?
10 seconds on the Exorcism. If he won't take it with the siege, he will with the ulti. So tier 1, the tower, probably gonna go down in the middle lane.
I really don't have to use Exorcism for this, but it gives Yoku a chance. Okay, with the rotation coming in from the Enchantress, Troll Trap, he started the animation, but the Troll was just a little bit too far away.
White TP's in. Again going for the straight Vlad's build. See, Lycan already has his Vladimir's offering on the bottom lane. So Arteezy is gonna be looking to just farm up a Necromicon 3 now and then start pushing down the towers, which they will have a... They don't really have the burst needed to take down the Lycan if he gets off his shapeshift, I think. And at the same time, the supports needs to be very careful. Well, not so much the Enchantress, but the Disruptor needs to be careful with, especially running against the book. It's not so much the hero, because he can get wolves, or rather the hero itself.
Come for Arteezy. Troll Trap will start, the Hellbear will be able to clap it down too, but so little damage that this Enchantress does until she's got level 6.
Invis rune on Sumail. Can probably allow himself to play extra aggressive now. There's no Invis detection on any of the supports right now.
Who's he gonna find?
I say that there's a sentry ward on the Enchantress actually.
I got a chance of that being dropped. Like that's a pure straight D ward if possible. Ghost Stick's gonna be the primary target, but no level of burst damage, and Spirit Siphon lets him get this kill because it's not a single point up in silence, so they cannot control Ghost Sticks. But they might. Okay, well they're...
Oh, neither might get it actually.
Icarus dive with the Hex from PPD and the follow-off stun. Ghost Sticks, they do. They have enough damage. They take the tower.
They are gonna go for 2 because that's 25 seconds on the Void still.
Yep.
Lycan ulti and Exorcism. Yeah, I think they're gonna get this tower as well.
They could fortify and buy some time for the Void to come back up.
Disruptor
but it looks
can't
like...
afford a TP. Oh, he got the last hit, so he's gonna get a TP now.
Do they
There's
fight it?
cooldown on it though, so it doesn't matter.
No, then there's no reason to fight. Like, you're not going to be able to take this. You're not in any kind of position to do it. You'll have to waste more money at the Faceless Void as well.
And Yoki's going for the Quas Rex build.
Okay, so he's actually trying to go for teamfight control?
Yep.
I assume that because we're not looking at like a straight Orchid build.
Not even,
Because
not
he's got
even
this
so
casual-
much.
he's
Well,
got
it's
casual Gauntlet.
yeah, that's for the urn, I think.
Well, and then consume the Fairy Fire and go into your Orchid or your Yules.
Yeah, it's the most standard build basically. You go for the face boots, you get the urn, and then you go for the orchid, and then you run around in Ghost Walk and pick off targets as soon as you silence them.
Makes sense. Aloha Dance, Fear. What do you want to do here? If he wants to Icarus dive himself away, Aloha's just going to drag him back, but Fear actually dives himself up. Aloha's going to miss his target for the Storm, but FM was already there, and yeah, you can't TP on top of towers. Not up against a Disruptor who hasn't used Glimpse.
And you can see the Slark, even with his fairly early Midas, he's only amassed a power threat since then, so Universe is by all means very, very close to the same amount of farm on the Lone Druid.
Has he got more somewhere else? I know the minus obviously counts for a hell of a lot, because he's the top net worth. He's ahead of actually Lycan by 600 net worth.
And has 2 kills as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just expensive. He also has a Ring of Achilles in his defense. That is a decent amount of gold.
I'm interested to see how long it takes him to go for his next item and which item he chooses to go for. After we did all that theory crafting earlier today, for those who weren't tuning in for the first series, as we watched Swindles just next level mechanic us with the Silver Edge pickup. Silver Edge actually reduces 40% of damage of everything, and that includes the Exorcism Spirits of the Death Prophet.
So we see Arteezy going for the Medallion of Courage, so what EG is gonna look to do is take down Roshan and then start pushing towers down together rather than doing the split push objectives. And it's also very hard to do split push against heroes like Disruptor and Faceless Void because there's no escaping their wrath. Whereas I don't really feel like Empire have a lot of counters against the Lone Druid. If he gets a Radiance up and running, if he gets that in due time, like around the 18th minute mark or something, it'll be really, really hard for Empire to actually do anything against it.
Hello, EG. They're gonna slip themselves inside the pit, and Team Empire. Well, they're so close, but they're just not a... Oh, wait, maybe they are. They 4-man smoke on the mid lane, and they're coming down. The Exorcism now going to be triggered, but Yoku, he's so close. The EMP Tornado catches out to disrupt the storm. It doesn't actually catch anybody out. They might have to glimpse him back in again, but Samel takes too much damage from that Enchantress. Goes with a perfect ulti, catching out Arteezy, and this is a terrible fight for Evil Jesus. They're most definitely going to lose 4. Arteezy, that shapeshift form is only going to last another couple of seconds. Can they catch him? Actually, no, they can't. They're only going to take out 3. I thought that Impetus damage would do a lot more work. But now Team Empire, like you take 3 heroes and you'll take Roshan as well.
And all ultimates were, like both Exorcism and Shapeshift was used by EG, so overestimating how fast they could take it or not expecting Team Empire to actually anticipate the Roche attempt. Good read by Empire.
Yeah. They did have a dire Observer Ward, like, hovering around that area.
They just completely took away the momentum that EG could have built off the back of that Aegis. Because this might actually mean that they can keep their tier 2 towers alive. EG won't really want to fight for the next 6-7 minutes.
Yeah. Buy some space for Universe so he can finish up this Radiance of his.
This Lark is actually gonna have a good time now.
What's the... Okay, so yeah, with a Blink Dagger. Ghost is actually finishing up the Vlads like before.
Yeah, and we need Fear. So what needs to happen right now is that Fear and PPD needs to even up to the Empire supports. Level 7 on Disruptor and 8 on the Enchantress, whereas Phoenix and Lion are both only 5. So it's gonna be a while before we'll see another team fight break out, unless of course Empire ganks. There is a Blink Dagger on the Slark. But a lot of it comes down to Universe now, and that Radiance timing.
Yeah. Because then he can start creating a little bit more space for his team, and more importantly, actually having split push, allowing EG to have like one player from Empire break off from the main pack.
Is Arteezy going for a Midas?
Is he really? It looks to be the case. Because what else would you get on a Lycan after you've already got the Medallion of Vlad's?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, normally what you would be getting is an Necromicon or completing a Solar Crest.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant's top tower.
But in this case, it's that casual glove that we'll just keep our eyes on. So Enchantress takes 1 tower up on the top, as Empire brought basically everyone apart from Ghostic, but it's Ghostic who's got that Chronosphere ready to defend the mid if required. They'll use him up, silence is available, so they'll stop Ghostic from being able to jump himself away, but then again, they don't have enough follow-up damage. Aloha Dance bought the space, Ghostic can time walk himself out, but now Yoku, a big EMP Tornado with a Deafening Blast fall off the FN's attack from PPD. The perfect time is his Slark couldn't just straight up initiate, and he's actually being drained down at the moment, caught in the edge of the Chronosphere, which will allow for PPD to get a follow-up double stun. But FN into the Shadow Dance, it's a 2-for-1 trade-off, and maybe going to be more as Fear tries to run himself out. FN right in the neighborhood, pounces himself forward. They know PPD's in the tree line. He'll break the Aegis to the Immortal and tries this TP out. Is there a time lock? Is there a stun? Is there damage? There is not. PPD successfully.
That's a lot of value from that Lion play right there. PPD actually doing a lot of work in that fight. So while it may seem as if EG lost the fight, they got the Aegis off the Slark. They took a fight that I never would have expected them to. They killed the Invoker, and it was all without the Lone Druid. They just created a ton of space for Universe to just farm up the top lane. Completely uninterrupted. There's now 4,100 gold on him.
It actually is going to be like, I had this niggling in my mind, but I was doubting actually calling it out. It's the Armlet build coming in for the Lycan. That's what his glove is going to be going into.
I was thinking about it. I just didn't think that was something Arteezy would be going for.
It's an early kind of build. It's actually something which it makes me think of what Resolution used to do on that Lycan, because he used to be like a big believer in the Armlet kind of style. This was even after Armlet got like a couple of nerfs.
I just thought, like, we just saw Ditara against Secret and how successful he was with his builds, and I really felt like, oh, this is probably the Lycan build to go with if you want to win.
Yeah. Oh, EG gonna force the issue down the mid. They've only got the Relic on the Bearer, still not the full Radiance. So Empire doesn't have to deal with that, but the EMP Tornado, the Bear is the only thing really caught out here at the moment. And PPD, well, maybe we'll add him into the list. That Troll Trap was perfect. The Sunray unable to do enough to dissuade Team Empire from killing off the EG support captain. And then they even drag back Arteezy into the storm of Aloha Dance. Fear thinking about the Nova, he can't really help. Now he goes into the Nova, but he's surrounded by Team Empire. EG are crumbling. They're gonna lose Universe 2, and he really cannot afford to die now. The Pounce is up, the leash is on the Lone Druid, he'll drop, and the only one to survive is Samael, who's instantly moved down to the bottom lane, and this now means that Team Empire can force the issue down the mid, and it didn't even take them, they didn't have to use Chronosphere, it's still off cooldown right now on Ghostic.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what EG was thinking. They've spent this entire game fighting without the Lone Druid, and then as he is the closest he's ever been to completing the Radiance, they start pushing up a tower that they really didn't have any business pushing into. Knowing full well that they are not only against the Chronosphere, which he didn't even commit, but also against the Disruptor that'll punish him the second they back off. There was absolutely no need for them to take that fight. It wasn't that important that they took that tier 2 tower at that given time. I don't know if they just thought there would be an easy goal, like 200 gold for everyone or what.
Could be a little bit of fatigue, but now they need to get their mind back in this game as Fear jumps forward. Sprites up a little bit, but Team Empire now, they understand they kind of got what they were looking for. EG commit the shapeshift again, and with a wall up from Aloha Dance, Arteezy, yeah, he knows he can't chase this out. They just back out. But EG have been waiting to play this game for a very long time, so maybe then again, with a third game into the series, if you're not warmed up by now, either like you're being tired, or you're being tired, that's it.
I still think time plays into their favor, especially because Enchantress doesn't really have that much farms. He's got Face Boots and Drum. It's 19 minutes in. You would probably want to have a Dragonlance as well, or at least the Ogre Club. So I think she's like a bit behind. I don't really like, unless they start winning, continuously winning teamfights without her dying. She does have the added benefit of Untouchable being really, really good against both Lone Druid and the Lycanthrope when he doesn't go for a Black King Bar build.
There's a big group up now from Team Empire. They've walked right over the top of Radiant Observer Ward. Tornado from Yoku. Just going to miss on Fear. Already has to commit the Icarus dive defensively to get him back behind the Tier 1 tower, but now turns on the Sunray. Aloha solo, but Ghostix gets a 2-man chrono. It's over on the Death Prophet, but Fear, he's interrupting him up. Now the Yule Scepter up. He's so damn low. Samael, he will pop. FM will get the wicked stick kill. PVD also low on life. We'll get the double stun. The Pounce forward. Can they bring down the egg? Most definitely they can as PPD into the tree lines. Even the range creepers actually found him out. They'll drop the meatball on top of his head. And the Tier 1 tower won't be too far behind. Arteezy, successful TP out, but again, another engagement where Empire are getting more and more. And not just more and more, we have a 7-0-4 Slark of FN.
Yeah. Shapeshift wasn't up on Arteezy, so he didn't really contribute much to that fight. I think Sumail was probably cursing Gaben a bit, because he was really on the edge of that Chronosphere. He was like pinging it immensely, saying, how am I in this? How am I in this? Tell me I'm not in this Chrono.
Well, he has to believe it. He also has to believe just how fat that Slark is getting. A full Skadi is going to be completed as he takes the CS here in the mid.
He has to be, because this Invoker is... Because it's not the typical Exalt build, but he's going for like this mix. So he's still building into an Aghanim Scepter rather than any of the standard Crossworks builds that we have seen in the past.
Could be a little bit of an all-rounder just to create the space.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a hybrid Invoker that just needs to fight until the rest of his team is big enough. The problem with that is that Enchantress isn't farming that much. Void has Vlads and Blink Dagger, which essentially the only thing he needs on top of that is the Aghanim Scepter. Disruptor, not really close to anything noteworthy.
Yeah.
So it's all on the back of the Slark right now in terms of physical damage output. Sure, the Invoker is annoying, but he's not really gonna kill you. It's definitely not the Lone Druid of the Lycanthrope.
There is one nice thing that Aloha Dance can get close to, which would be useful, and that's the Glimmer Cape. We saw its effectiveness on our first series of the day up against a hero like a Lion, where you negate a large portion of his damage just with that Glimmer Cape. And now Ghostix is going to commit. They call Samal out of position. FN will have to wait for his attack, counts himself then instantly into the leash, and Slark will find that kill. A little bit of help came in from the Enchantress too, but that's 40 seconds now for Samal on the sidelines. And a lot of fear to be put into the back of the mind of PPD.
With the levels on EG right now, I think every kill they can pick up with Chronosphere is worth it. It'll take too long for EG to react and push down middle lane that Chronosphere will be up again, and even then they can defend for a long time with this, the Cross-Rex build of Invoker.
Ghostix has come to defend this top lane. Arteezy is on his way up, and for a player that actually bought an armlet, you'd expect Arteezy to be looking for fights left, right, and center. Like, that's the purpose of the armlet. It gives you such a huge increase in strength early on that you want to be fighting, and this is that kind of moment. Chrono is down. You want to find that opening over on Ghostic. But only if he tries to deny up the tower, which it looks like he's not going to. Lone Druid will just take it anyway. As Empire wait for Roshan, he's another 5 seconds away.
They're very impatient. Like, come on, Rose.
Big Dire Observer Ward to scout this movement. 3-man TP down the bottom lane. They know Roshan's up now, thanks to the Centaur creep sitting inside the pit.
They should know that there's an upsword there, though. They just lost Sumail there.
Here they come.
They had a sentry that would scout out if they saw the ops within the sentry range, so naturally the ops is outside of the sentry range, yet they still smoke on top of the ops.
Oh, look at the wraparound. Oh, Empire, this could actually be one of the greatest plays for them. The question is, who do they catch out and where they catch them out? It's going to be everyone down low. FN, the first man forward, jumps over towards PPD. Still Stamel's got that exorcism off, but he's not close enough for that exorcism to start doing any kind of damage until FN gets isolated and brought down. They're having lost with the corner. He catches out 3. The Nova is there in combination. They can't reach him. He falls down. Have they got enough damage? No, yes, they do. EG, they're pushing Empire back. A triple kill for Samael. The Sunray is burning through Ghostix too. He can time look himself out of here. The Team Empire, it looked like a beautiful start for them, but then that Chronosphere just split the fight up and they couldn't reach Fear.
This is the second time a Chronosphere has spelled death for Empire. We saw it in the last game, and now this one. DP was standing in the Chrono, but little did it matter because the Exorcism was just targeting both the Invoker and the Disruptor completely with every single ghost, and then the Sunray threw it. I don't even know what happened to the Slag. I have to re-watch the replay afterwards. He just blew up.
Pretty much. He jumped into the middle of the EG lineup and thought, this is going to be absolutely great. Chrono ends,
I thought it would.
And he had no defense. There was no defense. Because he instantly, I believe he got instantly stunned up by Fear's Nova. So the second he came out of the Chronosphere. That's just a horrendous moment for Team Empire.
They must be scratching their heads thinking, what went wrong?
Like, this game was so good. Look at the swing of the graphs as well. It was 7.5k net worth advantage. He was almost 12,000 experience, and they've lost half of that. In fact, almost all of that in net worth.
It's so rough on Ghostic as well. He gets 4 targets in the Chrono, and his team is like, well, you killed us.
I did my job. Wait, 4 targets. How many of those included my own teammates?
No, this was EG members.
Yeah.
But he still killed his team.
What do you do in that situation, though? But this is also the downside about what happens when you run like a one-position melee core up against an off-lane with an off-lane Faceless Void.
It doesn't really combo well with a Cross-Rex Invoker either, because yeah, you can get the EMP off for free, but Tornado would be a waste.
And you're expecting like Meteorite to do a lot more damage than it actually does.
Yeah, and because Enchantress doesn't have the damage output that is needed yet, when you hit the Slag in it, you basically have no damage.
Yeah, this Enchantress really needs to find space to farm. Like, you got a level 11 Impetus, like a level 2 Impetus, so level 11 Enchantress, but she needs to have something else. Like, she needs the Dragon Lance or Aghanim Scepter, preferably just Dragon Lance.
So while the scoreboard might be favoring Empire, and the Slag is incredibly farmed, sitting on 8 and 1, I'm prone to say that this game is definitely in EG's favor at the time being, especially because if they win one team fight and there's no buybacks on Empire, that means Raxus, because they just have 2 heroes that will just take down the building so very fast. 3 actually, if the Exorcism is still running.
Who actually got the kill over on the Slog? Because that large amount of money, I'm assuming it was Sumail because he finished up his full Octarine.
That was
after that fight.
definitely Sumail then, because he was sitting on 1200 gold before that.
Oh wow, he even gets like, it's a haste and an arcane rune for a death prophet.
Let the good times roll.
Well, they're gonna roll all over Team Empire's face. Team Empire. There's also showcases like maybe a little bit of weakness in EG, the fact that Team Empire have pushed EG into such a position as well here in a game 3 of a best of 3.
Well, yes and no. They do have sort of a greedy lineup in terms of team fighting because they have these 2 push heroes that, you know, the Lone Druid needs the Radiance, and that's really what put them on the back foot for so long in the early to mid game, that they were waiting for Lone Druid to actually join the fray, and then at the same time, Lycanthrope.
Here they come. Is he gonna BKB? Arteezy loses every bit of mana
He doesn't have a magic stick. There's nothing he can do right now.
He can turn his armlet on. He's currently leaving it completely inactive. And the jump in, the Chronosphere caught out 3 heroes. Where is that attack? RTD now he turns on the BKB. And the Nova on the back lines forcing Empire to stay inside their base. But this allows the Exorcism to do its work. FN again jumping forward, but they just don't care. EG's too tanky. They force the mid-racks. The Enchantress a little bit too close in, getting hexed up there by PPD, but they just, again, the dives keep going. Gozix with no Chronosphere. They've lost their melee racks, and the Bear was actually soloing up against the Faceless Void right then.
So Sumail actually forgot to activate his Arcane Rune, so he'll have to wait for the natural cooldown.
Is this also a visual bug? But I haven't seen Arteezy use his armlet that entire fight. FN, okay. That's coming in close. Now Arteezy, he lets Shapeshift go. Gozix, he's still got no ulti, and Arteezy, he just runs after Yoki. Now that armlet's turned on. He's looking for the opening. The Deafening Blast buys a little bit of space, but not enough space to save the life of the Enchantress. Or, okay, maybe it will be. 4 points untouchable is difficult to fight against, and the Glimpse is going to take Sumail out of the fight, so Enchantress will survive to fight another day.
I think EG will be happy with just backing off. They didn't even lose the Aegis. I'm sure Arteezy was just sitting, what do I do here, guys? I don't have any mana. I'm just going to stand here. I'll just be, oh, whatever.
It's a weird kind of position too, like who do you even want to give the Aegis Immortal to? It's more useful on someone like Universe than it is on a Death Prophet.
Yeah, because the thing is,
Lycan.
if he dies when Exorcism is running,
yeah, he doesn't get it back when he comes back to life.
Who cares if he resurrects?
It's the same thing with Lycan when he uses Shapeshift before his ultimate. In fact, he runs in hoping they kill him off so then he can come back to life.
The good part about the Lycan is that he can then go up in front line and just stand and hit in his natural shape and then Shapeshift as soon as he respawns. Because then he'll have the mana as well. And that's probably what he was thinking. But then he activated BKB without using the Aegis, so that was a bit odd.
Yeah. It kind of looked like Empire just wasn't going to give him the opportunity he was hoping for.
Yeah, they surely knew that there was no reason in targeting him because he wasn't going to deal any damage to them.
Oh, look at that swing still going. Still going the way of EG. Obviously, the melee ranked is now going to give such huge map control for EG because they're already running like a Radiance split pushing Bear if they want to, with an Assault Cuirass completed as well. And Team Empire don't really have an answer to this.
Yeah, but at this point in time, this is where the Crosswix hybrid Invoker that he's building just falls flat on its ass. It's not going to do anything again with the Chrono or anything. And we're 30 minutes into the game. Normally, when we see the typical Exalt Invoker build with the Midas and everything, you'll see a 5-slotted Invoker already that'll prove very difficult to play against. We saw it in the Na'Vi EG or Na'Vi Secret Series. We saw Sumail play it as well. Even in the game they lost, he had like a 16-4 score or something.
Oh, hello Empire. They're going to try and make the most out of this new Moonshot over on the
This is the last dance right here.
They jump up.
If Empire loses this fight, the game is over.
Watch for the positioning. This is the big thing. Fear's on the back lines now. They've got a little bit of vision on him. And they'll start it off with a pounce that misses from FN. Fear's out. There's your Chronosphere. Catching out Arteezy, but the damage just isn't enough. The Glimpse also not doing any kind of work. PPD, he will burn down. FN takes that kill. But at the same time, you've lost your Faceless Void. And Arteezy's now on the hunt, chasing after Yoku. There's no way to run away. Arteezy with a triple kill. He's currently a caged beast. Release the hounds. Can they find another one? No, they can't. 4 heroes down for Empire. FN has escaped. He'll at least protect the gem of Team Empire, but Team Empire realized, like, as you said, like, it's the last roll of the dice. If EG can take out this top ranks, the game is basically done. They must defend. FN's in again. EMP Tornado. Buyback comes out from the Disruptor. finding Universe, but again, Fear zoning out with the Sunray Slug. Oh my, he's down for 76 seconds. This could be it right now. EG, they're going deep inside the base of Team Empire. They won the kill on a low hard dance with the Earn Charge and the Sprites. He's actually ticking down, and in fact, will he? Yep, he dies back behind the fountain. Team Empire lose another one. They lose the top ranks, and they call GG. Team Evil Geniuses will wrap up our last quarterfinal and get themselves a date up against Na'Vi in the second semi-final tomorrow. Can't believe I said that.
Just like the good old days.
The EG Na'Vi matchups.
But I still think Empire has a lot to build on from this. Like they've shown that they can play with the best. They just played 3 good games against Evil Geniuses, and definitely something. You know, this is a team that was assembled a week ago.